let's do a roll call. Do we have Felian?
Yes.
Cure?
Yeah.
Macklin?
Why?
V?
Present.
Ice?
Yep.
Alright. Ice, you might want to hop into roll 20.
Working on it.
Okay. So, who wants to talk about what happened last game?
What about worms?
Yeah, there were worms.
Yep.
There are 2, to be exact.
Large, angry, blind bastards. Let's see. After we got out of the O'Shaughnessy household, we gathered our things, talked about the events that transpired before, learned that most of us, if not all of us, had dreams in which we were given a challenge or given an option, and we all had blue stones in them. We all touched the blue, apparently. After which point, let's see. I believe we had the secret room. I know there was a dryad room.
The chain tree came first.
Yep, we ended up with a room that had a chain tree. Spent a little while deciding to inspect it. Found out that it's magical, that the tree was being suppressed. To what end, we did not know. Upon inspecting the tree, and after Seamus knocked it to suppress the magic, we unchained it. Seamus found that there was a dryad, and we took a chance and helped her out. And it seemed to be the right choice, because 2 gems appeared and we got them. Let's see. I think then there was the secret chamber.
Yep, secret chamber came next.
We ended up in a room with a large statue crumbling with a plaque that said, "Tell me a secret." Felian told a grave secret about his past, an event that plagued him for the rest of his life. And the statue seemed pleased. Cure told a secret about how she loves and who she loved, which also seemed to appease the statue. V revealed the secret and nothing happened. Macklin told a secret of his own, which seemed to push things along, and finally Ice revealed his secret, which seemed to finish the job. With 4 secrets revealed, a blue stone appeared in one of the corridors. We touched it and moved on. I believe at that point we found the worms. We ended up teleporting into a ruined room with large holes, puttered around trying to figure out what the puzzle was, found some large holes in the ground, and before we could get much further, the reason for those holes appeared as 2 large purple worms attacked. We spent several minutes pinging and slashing and cutting. At one point, Felling was eaten by one, and he did that nifty little ghost trick and poofed out of it. And from then on, we took some hits, but we managed to dispatch the 2.
We took a short rest immediately after.
Yes, the stones are available, and we are taking a rest.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right. Anyone have anything else to add?
No.
Nope.
Some interpersonal character stuff happened, but the players know what happened.
But does the recording?
Is the recording still alive from last week?
Should be. I don't work a job where I can listen to it anymore. But that sounds pretty accurate to me, as you guys relax in the room. catch your breath. The corpses of 2 giant purple worms lying half embedded in the ground. A door to one side revealing both a blue crystal and a red one.
I'm gonna sit near the blue crystal as I take my rest.
Okay.
I'm going to mosey on over to a nice shady corner, take a seat, and I'll see about repairing the pepper box.
Sure.
What was that, a dex check or?
Yeah, Dex.
With proficiency or without?
With. As you're
Okay,
getting
so
the
that's
hang of it.
a d20 plus. D20 plus 10. 27.
Yeah, you managed to put it back together. You feel hands guiding your own, and a familiar kind of calm and expertise as you put the pepper box back together. Roll me a perception check.
Perception, okay. As I find my actual dice, let's just roll this one for giggles. That's 22.
Okay.
Pelion sits against that stone pillar right there, right next to the worm.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting.
Ice sits on the pillar that he's in front of. Oh, there we go. Let me move it finally. And then he calls out to everyone else. So, if Halastair has them, would everyone be willing to do one more room if it meant that we were scribe proof the moment that we returned home?
Come again?
At the end of my dream, before I grabbed a blue crystal, I made a proposal to Halastair, not asking a question because he would just cost us an hour. But I put forth an idea that possibly, if he had items that could make us scribe-proof and keep us that way, that we might be willing to do another room. As far as Vecna is concerned, as far as I can think, and I've been thinking about this since we've arrived, and since the option to go back in time has come up. Vecna, as far as he's concerned, he ran his spell and it worked. So we're going to get brought back, and there's no reason for him to scry on us. But if he tries to, he'll get an absence if we're all wearing things that are scry-proof. So it gives a kind of upper hand if it's available.
He won't know we came back.
That would be the hope.
That's quite clever, so long as we keep our heads low, and none of his witnesses report back to him. If he can't find us magically, that's one hell of an advantage.
Yes, it is, but once again, I didn't ask him if he had it. I only put forth it, but it's also not my decision. Would everyone be willing to do one more room if it meant that we were invisible to Vecna?
Is there a deadline to decide, or can we figure it out when we get there?
As far as I know, as long as we have more than an hour left, or as long as we have a couple hours left after we finish the last room to get us the full time back we needed, that would be the time to choose if he had it available, because we'd still have to attune to them as well. unless they're items that don't need attunement. But I think they would. That kind of magic is kind of more personalized.
I spin the barrels, click them into place, and holster the weapon before taking a step onto the small rock that I've been sitting beside.
Well, this whole ordeal was to get back and stick it to Vecna. If we can stick it to him harder, I vote we do it.
Macklin,
Yes?
where did you get that weapon?
What weapon?
The gun you just holstered.
I think back and try to recall where I found it.
Oh, it's been a while. Some time before Crackhammer.
But not in Whitestone, correct?
No, not Whitestone. It was,
Counting on my fingers and toes.
Ah, yes. I hope you don't think ill of me, but I liberated it from Grayskull Keep.
Is that Percy's gun?
Pause a moment and pull it back out to look it over.
Actually, I'm afraid I wouldn't know to recognize it if I saw it.
I look over at it, but then I don't say anything.
I'm going to stand up and walk over to him. May I hold it a moment?
That is up to you.
Oh, okay. I think it over for a moment before giving a little shrug. I heft it, hold it by the barrel, and hand it to you by the handle.
I am going to take it calmly, hold it in my hands.
Mhm.
Detect good and evil.
Okay. You know, now that you're looking at it, and now that you're feeling it, there's a strong evil presence coming off of this gun.
I purse my lips behind my mask. This is not a good weapon.
I mean, it's not junk. It's fairly serviceable.
I do not mean in terms of craftsmanship. I mean it is not a good weapon. Quite the opposite.
And Cure, as you look it over, you realize one of the barrels has a name and etched into it.
Ooh, I'm gonna hold it up to read that.
Okay. It says Jacob.
I turn my head slowly to look at Macklin. You don't know very much about Vox Machina, do you?
Can I roll to know if I know about Vox Machina?
Sure. Roll me a history check.
24?
Okay.
I know a thing or two about them.
You're more familiar with the bigger stories. They defeated the Chroma Conclave, which was the dragons that destroyed most of Taldore. You know that they rescued Gren Taldore from the thing called the Dread Emperor, which you think that a story you might have picked up from Ice, actually, now that you think about it. you know the major players. You know Scanlan was a gnomish bard. Basic class and character stuff.
He had that charming bard and that wonderful little bear.
When they first met Percival de Rolo, he was not necessarily a good man. He
He's a noble.
wielded...
They seldom start good.
He made a pact with a demon, so that he might seek vengeance on those who had wronged him and his family. That demon manifested as a curse upon the weapon he bore, a weapon he crafted with his own hands. A weapon that you are now carrying.
Hugh, are you trying to tell me that this isn't a good weapon?
It most certainly is not a good weapon.
Well, I think that information over for a little bit.
I turn the gun over in my hands and kind of purse my lips, thinking through everything I know about my abilities. And I don't believe there's anything I can do about this right now.
Well, it's been fairly safe, halted at my hip for the last month and a half or so. Actually, the last 21 years, if we're being incredibly specific about it.
I take a moment to consider and then sigh. We have more important matters to attend to.
I agree.
And I agree with Ice's idea regarding the acquisition of items that would prevent us from being scryed upon. This weapon, however, if you hold on to it, there is a chance that its curse will sink into you.
Huh.
If it has not already.
Sure, you would know if I were cursed.
I look over at him.
I just quirk a brow at you like a sassy small gnome would.
I believe you are the kind of person that, if you are cursed, you would take advantage of all the charm at your disposal to convince those around you that you are not.
You wouldn't be wrong, I am rather charming. Still, curses. That
But you
shows
did
something,
hand me
that's
the
such a-
weapon, and I think if you were under the sway of such a thing, you would not have done so. You may yet be yourself. And I hold the gun out towards him.
I reach up for it.
I pull it back just before he takes it. One condition. When we get out of here, you will come to the temple and see that this weapon be blessed and cleansed of its curse.
Will it still shoot?
I believe so.
Oh, fine, whatever the Raven Queen, whatever mojo she wants to work on it, so be it.
I have your word then.
You have my word. If it means anything,
I hand him the gun.
I take the gun back. With a huff.
thanks, Mom.
I don't acknowledge him as I turn with a swish of my cloak and head back over to the crystal.
Okay.
I hop down from my rock.
Alrighty.
I'm waiting by the crystal for everyone else to start gathering and preparing themselves.
Whenever you're ready, Cure.
Yes, if everyone else is done bleeding.
Ice did ask a question.
I hopped
down
from the pillar. You don't have to answer.
I think your mic is muted.
No, I looked too early. Or can you not hear me?
We can't hear you.
Oh. Wrong button. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So Ice gets down off the pillar, brushes himself off. We don't need an answer now, but once we're done with the last room, we need answers. So think it over. And I just ready my gun and just wait.
All right then, if we're ready. And I reach out for the blue crystal.
Alrighty. You are transported to a warm, comfortable library where several bookshelves stand, filled with books. There's a desk, chair. Just seems like a normal library.
Well, this is cozy.
Felian, with your passive perception, you notice that on the wall there is a clock. Both hands pointed to 12. But that's what you guys see.
All right. I'm going to step into the room, moving carefully,
Okay.
checking to make sure I don't step on any, I don't know, pressure plates or such.
Okay. You step in carefully. There does not appear to be any sort of traps.
Roll perception, see if anything seems off.
Sure. Seems like a comfortable library, and as off as that is.
I'm going to start heading to the desk, slowly, kind of aware of the same thing Macklin's looking for, pressure plates, traps.
Okay.
I wonder if there's any particular field of study in this library.
Inspect these shelves over here.
Okay. There's various bottles filled with liquids and scraps of paper and just items. Nothing unusual.
I cast Detect Magic and I start looking around the bookshelf to see if there's anything that gives off an aura.
Okay. You look around the bookshelf and nothing appears to be giving off any sort of aura.
I'm going to start rifling through the desk and seeing if any of these papers or books have any meaning.
Sure. What languages do you speak?
Not a great deal. Where's languages? I know he's... here we go. Common, Celestial, Infernal.
Okay. The words mean nothing to you, but there does seem to be notes taken here and there.
I found some notes that are not written in common.
Oh?
Ice moves over and casts Comprehend Languages and starts looking at the notes.
Oh, huh. You could do that.
You take the notes in your hand and you hold them, run your fingers over the text. It's gibberish. It's meant to look like notes, but they don't actually say anything.
Huh. That's disappointing.
I'd like to investigate the bookshelf.
Okay, sure. None of the books are labeled.
All right, so a 22 investigation.
Okay. It's a bookshelf with unlabeled books on it.
Huh. Yeah, that's peculiar. Who goes to the effort of stocking books in a library and doesn't bother labeling the books?
Given
A mad
the
mage.
given the notes were gibberish and obviously terrible, I go over to the other cupboard here beside me, and I actually start looking to see if the reagents here are actually labeled.
Okay. They are not.
Where's that clock on the wall that was mentioned?
Here, high on the wall. Too high for you to be able to reach.
I assume I wouldn't see it until I just turned away from the desk, and now I'm going to approach it.
Okay.
Kind of stare at it. It doesn't reflect the current time, does it?
No, and it's not moving.
Hmm.
Man, it would help if I wasn't fucking muted.
Oh,
Had
shit.
to.
It really would.
Fillion's gonna pull a book off the shelf and he's just gonna look through it to see if it has any text or anything.
Okay. You flip through the pages and you find one with one line of text. I am rarely touched but often held. If you have wit, you'll use me well.
I seem to have found a riddle. Not sure exactly what it means.
Oh, what does it say?
I'll repeat what you just said.
I'm rarely touched but often held. If you have wit, you'll use me well.
Does that make any sense to any of you?
He starts eyeing the clock. In one whole time.
Is that something that V says out loud?
Yes.
Ice looks over. Depending on how you're tracking it, hourglass is technically, you could call it holding time, or a way to
What
track
about the
it.
tongue?
I don't know if I want to
I
find a
glare.
tongue in here.
I glare, but then I tilt my head. Yeah, Cure is right.
Is that
I'm
the
not
answer?
quite
A tongue?
certain, but it occurs to me. You don't often touch a tongue, but you often hold it. And only the witty knows how to use their tongues well. In conversation, at least.
Now the question is, that one riddle, how are we supposed to answer? Is it like the first room we just yell out tongue? Or is it something more nefarious?
What do I see over in this area?
Bits and bobs, a couple canes, and it's just knickknacks. Nothing seems to be sticking out to you.
Try pulling out another book.
Fillion removes another book and flips through the pages.
Okay. You pull out another book and you flip through the pages, and you find a page with some writing on it.
What does it say?
What word starts with E, ends with E, but only has one letter?
An envelope. No? No.
Actually, that makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
That's good as well. Yes.
I wonder if we should be writing these down.
I really don't want to find a tongue on that shelf over there.
Tongue.
Fillion is gonna look for a tongue in an envelope throughout any of these tables.
Okay. You find no tongues, no envelopes.
I grab another one of the nameless books and try to do what Felian did, just looking for any writing on any of the pages.
Okay. You find another book and start rummaging through it. Forwards I'm heavy, backwards I'm not. What am I?
Is there any inks and quills around?
As you search over the desk, you do find an ink and quill.
I'm gonna write an envelope and the E one and tongue in the first one.
Okay. You do that. Out of the corner of your eye, you see that the clock has moved to 2 o'clock.
I take a step back.
Forwards I'm heavy.
I think we
It,
found out the trick to this room.
Solving riddles.
I point at the clock.
Oh.
There appears to be some connection.
While they try to finish that riddle, I look for a book. Or rather, look through a book.
Okay. You find another book. I went into the woods and got it. I couldn't find it, so I took it home. What is it?
I went into the woods and got it. I couldn't find it, so I took it home.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a tick, a flea, a bramble.
A tick might be an answer to that one.
Gonna borrow Fillion's ink and quill and type in a tick, or write in a tick.
Okay. You write in a tick, and the clock moves forward 1 hour to 3 o'clock.
Oh, this is fun! I still can't figure out that last one.
I'm going to start doing the calculations in my head to figure out what time it currently is.
Okay. Roll me an intelligence check.
14.
Okay, you think it's about 11 a.m.
All right. All right, let's make an effort to solve these. Forwards, I'm heavy. Backwards, I'm not. What am I?
Afraid I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Nat 20 intelligence check.
You think it might be a word play. And you're stuck on backwards, I'm not.
Oh. Ton.
Ah!
Oh!
Forwards,
Oh!
I'm heavy. Backwards, I'm not. Oh.
That is terrible. I love it.
But terribly clever.
I'm going to go over and pluck a book off the wall.
Okay.
Who's writing these down? Who? Allegor Macklin. Oh, you have the ink and quill.
I pass it back to Ice.
Okay, I take it and I sit down really quick and I write ton
Okay.
on the parchment.
And it slips to 4.
I peer into my book.
Okay. Pleasant or terrible, I come at night or in daytime. Short or long, but yours alone, essential I am.
Oh, this is a long one. I think we might need another reading
Could
of that
you read
one.
it off again?
I can do you one better.
She can do
She's
you
gonna
one
post
better.
it in there. Breath?
Death.
Dream. I honestly have no idea.
The yours alone, essential. That's the part that's getting me because breath is essential. Dreaming, not so much, but at the same time,
Breaths aren't generally terrible or pleasant.
Death can be.
A daydream, a nightmare.
Essential, perhaps more inevitable.
I happen to agree with Ice on this one. I think it would be a breath.
You could have terrible breath. I've known quite a few people to have it.
Actually,
Halitosis.
that makes some sense now. May I see the pen?
I hand over the quill and ink. And I move away from the desk.
I write breath into the book.
Okay. You write breath. And nothing happens.
Oh, balderdash.
Well, then, I'm wrong. Try dream, I guess, since that was the other consensus here.
I write dream into the book.
Okay. The clock clicks forward 1 hour.
Oh,
good
that
going.
worked.
Still argue the essential, but wordplay, Halastair. You might be thinking of something else. So are we trying to get it to a specific time? As I look up at the clock.
Well, nothing has happened thus far. I estimate it's about 11 a.m. at the moment.
And the clock just turned now to 4? Or is it 5?
5.
Oh. 6 more? We have to do 6 more? Oh my god.
I take a book out of the
Oh god.
book off the rack and start flipping through it.
Okay. You find one. Without wings I fly, without eyes I cry.
Without wings I fly, without eyes I cry.
The wind?
I take the quill, dab it on my tongue, dip it in the ink, and try wind.
Nothing happens.
Nope. Scratch that one out. Good try, though.
Time can fly without wings, but it doesn't. The second part doesn't make sense.
Does not cry, no. What flies? Birds fly, but they have wings.
What
Time
can cry
flies, but doesn't
without
cry.
eyes?
Perhaps cry in this sense is another
Metaphorical?
wordplay, maybe like crying out.
It
But
makes a loud noise, but also flies.
that is what's getting me.
I suppose a cloud could also make sense.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
All right. I write in cloud.
You write in cloud?
Mhm.
Okay. Ticks forward 1.
Oh, I'm rather good
good
at
show.
this. I actually seem a little happy. I pull another book off the shelf and flip through it.
Okay. You pull another book off the shelf and open it, and it says, "When is a door not a door?"
When it's a jar!
Ice and I say that at the same time. I write in a jar.
It clicks forward 1.
Oh, I knew that one as a child.
Yes, it's one of the best jokes in the world.
It's
Everyone knows
terrible.
it. Yes, but you remembered it, didn't you?
For how terrible it was.
Ah, the writers and their puns.
But you remembered it.
Valian pulls a book. We did not have time for this.
Okay. Valian pulls a book. There is something I seek. While it is bound, it chooses kings and peasants. When it is free, it foretells war and woe. While it is bound, it propels men's lusts and furies. When it is freed, it tumbles, falls, and fades. While it is bound, life will often thrive. When it is freed, death will often follow. What do I seek?
You're gonna have to paste that one.
I'm doing that. I want to read them out loud first, so I
You're
can.
good. You're good. You're good. I like hearing them out loud too.
To be fair, right now, this is the only thing we have time for.
Foretells war or woe. Propels men's lust and furies. Tumbles, falls, and fades.
Oh, this is a complex one. I find myself wishing for another door pun.
Well, there are more books.
I wonder if it would be possible to skip past this one.
I
Already
gingerly.
skipped one.
No, we answered them all so far.
Yes, we've been
What
back
was
and
the
finished the.
one
heavy
in the
one?
woods?
It was a tick.
Ah,
I'm going to gingerly reach for another book.
Okay. You gingerly reach for another book and pull out one. And flip through the pages. What falls but does not break? What breaks but does not fall?
What falls but does not break, what breaks but does not fall.
Water.
Yep.
No, wait.
No, you're right.
No, it does fall.
But the second one said what breaks but does not fall. I'm not sure that then contradicts. I don't know.
We
can try water.
in it.
You write water,
Yep.
nothing happens.
Felian, could I see the book with the long one?
Felian hands it over.
The
Macklin, may I see the
temperature.
quill?
Dad, he hands the quill over. Just passing this thing around.
You say
I
temperature?
scribble into it.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Cure.
Nope.
No, it was worth a try.
Well, I mean, the temperature can fall, and the heat of the day can break. So,
The
Felian
sun.
writes temperature.
Temperature? Nothing happens.
Type right in the sun.
Sun.
It clicks forward.
Oh! Good going, V.
Good call.
It probably would have also taken day, but
Daybreak. Right.
What time is it on now?
Currently on 8.
BRB.
I really want to solve this one.
are you fucking kidding me? You're not gonna believe me unless you come look at this.
What?
You're muted?
You got another nat 20 on your intelligence checks to get a clue?
Yes, if you want to look, you can.
No,
I just
I'll believe you. It's on the tip of your tongue. It feels somewhat appropriate that Felian was the one who drew this particular riddle. Like maybe Hallister is playing a joke.
Oh. I think I know the answer, but
Spirits?
Cure does not.
Yep. No, no. You can write it in.
Oh, this is racking my brain. Felian.
What
was the
about
riddle?
Felian?
What did I do?
This one, the hard one.
Yeah.
Hallister's playing a joke at your expense.
Yes.
You think the riddle has to do with Felian?
That's a very expensive joke.
I look down into the book I'm still holding and
Blood.
reread it and nod. I write in blood.
Blood.
Okay. It clicks forward.
Blood.
Oh, that was rather appropriate.
Wow. That's rather deep.
That's at my expense.
50 points,
Yes.
Felion.
Your abilities. You have to sacrifice blood to be stronger.
Yes.
And what you did to save us from having to harm ourselves in the temple, it's only fitting that you picked up that book. And I think he's choosing who is getting the book. Or what
I
riddle is in
pull
each book
another
as we
book
pick
off
it.
the shelf.
I see.
Sorry, Cure, you pulled a book off the shelf?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious now.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Ah!
When is a hawk like a dove, like a raven?
Maybe he is playing a joke. This one's about birds.
When is a hawk like a dove, like a raven? When it's flying?
Never?
I write in when it flies.
Nothing happens.
Nope, not that one. I find that some of these riddles, when they're written in an odd way, the answer has something to do with the manner in which it is written. When is a hawk like a dove, like a raven?
Scratching my head, I reach for another book.
Okay.
I have no bloody idea what this means.
Macklin, you pull out another book and open it up. The more you have of it, the less you see.
The more you have of it, the less you see.
I'm going to wander over to the shelf and pull a book too.
Blindness? Cataracts?
Darkness?
Oh, darkness.
I'm gonna write in darkness.
Okay. It clicks forward one.
Damn, fella, you're no good.
That's the only one I've gotten so far.
Are we at 10?
You are currently at 10.
Okay. So V pulled a book, and it's time to see if we can skip past a hard one.
Okay. So, V pulled a book.
He pulled a book.
Capable of kindness and cruelty, I take victims when I sour. I can be on your side or wrong you. I bring gifts though you already have me.
I need to have that one copied.
Yep.
Woo. Take victims when I sour. Is it perhaps the tide?
A tide doesn't really sour.
Well, fair enough.
Love, perhaps?
Ooh.
Oh, love.
After guessing, I turn back to my book and continue to try and puzzle out this bird riddle.
The soul?
The heart, moods, feelings, emotions. There are a lot of things that that fit this one.
Capable. Fate?
Fate doesn't sour though.
Hmm.
You've
What does
never
turn
had
sour?
poor fate before?
That's less fate turning sour and more me having terrible luck.
Perhaps it's luck. Your luck can turn sour.
Oh, that is a good one.
But
Yes.
how is luck
Gifts that you
kind
already
or
have.
cruel?
A cruel
And when does
fate.
luck bring you a gift even though
When is luck kind or
oh
cruel? When does luck bring you a gift?
I go to the book and I write in luck.
You write in luck, and it clicks forward 1 hour.
Excellent! Most excellent! Oh, this game is fun. Hallister, this is fun! We're having fun down here! Why aren't you having fun?
I look around since it's 11. Has any crystals appeared?
Nope.
Oh, he's making us go all the way back to 12?
There's still this riddle.
Oh, this riddle. Bollocks.
Have I puzzled over it enough to warrant another intelligence check?
Sure, you can certainly give it another intelligence check.
What
No,
about
no.
death?
Nah.
I
Dead
want to try to give
dead.
it an intelligence check now.
Okay, sure.
Character sheet.
Hawk like a dove, like a raven. I would like to roll too.
Does Felion say that out loud?
Yes, he does.
Oh, never mind. We just
They just not one in.
do the thing.
3 nat
Librarian
20s later,
defense.
and you guys might solve all these puzzles. V, give me a moment.
I suppose when it dies is a fairly obvious answer.
I mean, when I kill a dove or a hawk or a raven or a chicken, so we come out the same.
Can you put a hawk in a pie?
No.
Or a raven, for that matter.
Well,
At
when
home,
you
it makes no difference. Because they all look the same.
At night!
I pause and then write in at night.
Okay. As the clock clicks forward to 12 once more, a compartment opens up underneath it, revealing a blue crystal and a red crystal.
Oh, we solved it. Good work.
I hop up and run to it. Ready to go?
Ready as will ever be.
I slap the blue crystal.
Okay.
Watcha!
Gotta get back to the past. Oh boy.
Oh, this looks promising.
Are we all just kind of like shoved into this one after the other?
Yep.
Oh, a tunnel. This could never go bad.
All right, well, excuse me, pardon me. Better me at the front. I have the shield.
Fair enough.
Let me roll a perception check to see if I can see anything off about this hallway.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same since I'm in the front so I can see ahead of me. I can't see anything.
No, it's fine.
Welcome to the boat. It's just like mine. I'm gonna place one hand on the wall as I move forward.
I'm going to walk to the end of the hall and see what I can find.
Okay. You walk to the end of the hall, and scratched into the stone is the phrase, "To go forward, you must go back."
To go forward, we must go back.
I look behind us.
Okay.
Does this hall continue?
Nope.
Uh-huh.
And there's no door on that side, so it's just, it looks like it's a tube closed off on both sides. Long, with no doors.
I'm going to also walk to the end of the hall.
Okay.
Valiant follows.
Oh, well,
Okay. You see the same message.
since they're moving forward, I'm going to move to the back. I'm going to put a hand to the wall.
Okay.
Feels like a wall.
Feels like a wall. And on written on it says, "To go forward, you must go back."
I start walking backwards.
Valiant holds Macklin there. Wait until the rest of them get over here.
Oh, right.
Both ends of the tunnel have the same thing written on it.
Did I see anything written when I looked at it?
You did, and you thought you saw the wall shift a little bit as you walked backwards.
Huh. Well,
Alright, so I'm gonna go down and join them.
Any ideas?
once everyone gets to the end, I continue to walk backwards.
Okay.
And promptly bump into Cure, because I'm not watching where I'm going.
Unfortunately, quarters are a bit tight, and you bump right into Cure. Just as you thought you were beginning to see something, you were once again stopped.
No. Pardon me, fellows.
Alright,
you
are we
mind?
all walking backwards? Is that the plan?
That's what I'm trying.
Felion gets here, turns around, and starts walking backwards.
Ice does the same. Just to stay in sync.
You know what? I'm gonna need everyone to roll me dexterity saving throws.
Nice.
I mean, hard to tell, but whoever's near me gets my bonus. Actually, everyone's within 10 feet. Except Felion.
I think that makes it a disadvantage at this point.
That makes it a 17 instead of a 3 for me.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Check or save.
Save.
So that's 24. Or wait, no. What's your plus, Cure?
5.
Okay, so then that's actually 26.
Cure, you trip over Macklin somehow and end up flat on your ass.
Just everyone. Gah!
Sorry. Not walking where I'm going.
And just lie down on the floor for a moment. How about we coordinate rather than everyone walking in all directions at once?
We're only going in one direction. The opposite direction that you're going.
And yet I'm on the floor, so
Okay.
something has gone wrong.
Everyone who rolled above a 15, you walk backwards to the other end of the hall.
Did Felion get anywhere?
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness.
Probably got a 16, so yep.
I grumble and stand up and start walking back. You know what? I'm going to walk forward after them. And when I get near the end of the hall, then I'm going to turn around and start walking backwards.
Okay. So V and Ice, you make it about the same time, and you see the blue crystal appear, and you see it out of the corner of your eye with the back to the wall. Your back to the wall. And the red crystal right underneath it.
Alright, are we quite done?
Yes, I've had quite enough of these shenanigans.
I'm
As
gonna
far
grab.
as just a chuckle at Cure's expense, this is just cool.
It should be noted
Which-
that the next room is the last one.
I'm gonna grab the blue crystal.
Oh, is there any
Whoa.
preparation? Well, that's that.
Here we go.
Fuck.
Oh, good for you.
I once fought a kraken. It was a bad time.
Are we
Which
appearing on
place
the
are we
sacrificial
appearing
altar?
on?
You're appearing in the center there.
Okay, that's what I thought. Is that an altar or is that a
Sacrificial
column?
altar.
You appear on an altar. Around you are stone tentacles, broken and collapsed on the floor around you in a perfect circle.
What in the nine hells is this?
I look around. You said that all of the tentacles are stone.
Yes, they appear to be stone.
And for the ones that are like that one over there, is that when I look over there, is that actually wrapped in a way that we can't move it, or is it actually loose enough that that tentacle could be removed from that column?
The tentacles are made of stone. It is wrapped around, artistically, a column.
Yeah, those things
Okay.
are not going to move.
No, I was trying to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, I felt like you could probably do it.
I step off the altar.
Hmm.
Based on our experience in this place, I have a feeling we're about to fight something unpleasant.
Yes, this does have sort of a haunted temple kind of vibe, doesn't it?
Do I notice the little channels beneath the altar?
You do. They are bone dry.
Oh no.
Did you need some blood?
No.
I side-eye Felian.
I would like to roll a nature check to. Well, would it be nature or investigation to try to determine what was in these channels before?
Okay. Nature or investigation, whichever you would prefer.
Let's see. I will investigate. I'm using luck.
We don't have a V yet.
God, are you
She's
kidding?
here.
I'm present. I'm just my
On
character
the
thing
map,
is
I mean.
behind my character sheet, so I can't see it.
So
I keep
that's 10.
forgetting.
And the lucky
There.
roll is also 10.
10? You think you might see some dried algae or something, but you're not quite sure.
What are you
Doesn't
looking
appear
at?
to be anything like living in there. There's no dead bodies or anything, so yeah.
Well, I was curious to see what was in these channels before. There must be some dried lichen, algae. I wonder.
I'm gonna grab a water skin and does anyone mind if I dampen these wells?
Valiant drives the sword.
Go right
No,
ahead.
you can.
Right.
I follow suit.
All right. So I take my water skin and I empty it into the channels.
Okay. You empty it into the channels, and as the water hits it, it glows a soft, beautiful blue color.
All right. I hop back.
You go to
Oh.
hop back, but you are suddenly moved to the side as a cloaked figure appears in the center of the pillar. Removing his hood, you see Hallister.
Oh. It's you! Hello, you.
He chuckles a little bit and looks you all over. Are you all having fun?
Well, that room before last was
No.
actually quite enjoyable. Oh, well, party consensus says no.
A little bit.
Maybe just a little bit.
Not all of it was doom and gloom. It was quite enriching to help out that dryad. That dryad will survive, right? Wait,
Yeah.
no answer the question. I know that costs time. Don't answer that question.
He kind of laughs to himself. I put you where you needed to be in a couple of places where you would do me and someone else some good.
So they were more than just illusions.
He nods his head.
Okay, but I don't understand how playing the bone piano helped anyone. Except maybe entertain you as we all got squicked.
I think that was the point, Macklin.
He wanted to play to everyone's strengths. I think.
I wanted to see what you all would do. That is what I study. What people will do. What people won't do. What people are willing to give up. And what people are willing to risk.
And how was our studies?
That's quite invasive of you.
Well, that's what I do. Now, I think you wanted to go 21 years in the past, correct?
That was the initial deal, but I went back at Seamus.
And I look from Macklin up to him. How much time do we have left? I assume that's something that you can tell us without costing us an hour.
I think you've reached the end of your time here.
So you do
Perception?
not have.
Insight, actually, because that sounded like a loaded answer.
Okay.
That's a 17.
17 insight. He's hard to read, but you get the feeling that he's kind of just done. Like, you ever seen a cat play with a toy for a while and then go, okay, I'm done.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you meant this is the end of your time or this is the end of your time.
I want to say that's a no to your question, Seamus.
No.
Yeah, kind of seeing that. It was a long shot to ask if a mad mage would actually have scry-proof items to spare.
It's a very specific kind of magic, I imagine, to be very difficult to simply have on hand.
Oh, I have it. And he pulls out a box and opens it. And reveals 6 rings. Earrings. Let's go with earrings. 6 earrings.
Oh man, I haven't pierced my ears.
Wait,
You're used to poking yourself with pointy objects. You'll be fine.
I
This
do
is-
have ear piercings.
this is
It's
a
in my
trooper.
character profile.
What is it that you want us to do for these earrings?
Let's just say, once upon a time, I ran into a little shit of a necromancer who stole a particularly nice locket from me. It has no material or magical value. It is simply a gold locket, and I want it back.
Is this Vecna?
It's Vecna, yes.
Just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to have to go hunting another necromancer on top of Vecna.
What would Vecna want with a mere golden locket?
He kind of gives you a cryptic smile.
Fair enough, we'll find it.
I think that's a fair trade.
He holds out the box.
As the
Valiant
closest,
grabs it.
Feline beats me to the punch.
Okay.
And do these require attunements?
Yes.
I reach forward and grab one. Actually, first I nod a thanks and I pick it up and I just pierce my ear really quick. I had a hole there at one point. I'm just remaking it, so it's a lot easier.
Can you give us an hour to attune?
The challenge is done. You have completed it successfully. You may stay as long as you like. The teleportation circle is there. And he motions to a spot here where a teleportation circle has appeared.
Ah,
Step onto it when you're ready.
most excellent.
He inclines his head.
And that will send us to where we wish to go. Whitestone, 21 years in the past.
Whitestone, 21 years in the past.
Well, I will have to say thank you. I appreciate your hospitality, but yeah, I did not have a blast.
And what of V?
V, if once these are gone, step on the teleportation circle and you'll be taken back to your library.
I see. Thank you.
Though frankly, you'll cease to exist once they go back in time anyway, so it's a moot point, but...
Yes, well,
Well, suppose
I'd
you
rather
don't all-
cease to exist in my library.
Who knows? You might get lucky.
Fair. Fair. It's fair.
Very well. Is everyone rested enough to head back to Whitestone then?
We need to wait an hour to attune, so I make sure my earring is properly seated, and then I look over at Halastair. So, since we succeeded, you could answer a question or two? That
I take 2 earrings from the box.
Depends. What's the questions?
Did we have to drink the tea and eat the snacks like I thought?
He laughs a little bit. Now that is too important for you to know.
I will just believe that I was in the right, and everyone will believe they were in the right, and that will be that, I guess.
Is that typically how our conversations go, Seamus?
I mean, most of the time, eventually we come to an agreement on who was wrong.
I do say, though, it is only polite, when offered food, to at least take a small amount.
I'm gonna pluck one of the earrings out and swap out one of my little diamond studs for the earring.
Okay.
Valiant pricks his ear. Puts the earring in.
Okay. You take 1 point of damage as you pierce your ear.
I
You
put
ask
one.
anyone for help, or do you just...
Nope. I just put it in without even flinching.
Okay. You pierce your ear. You're pretty sure it's in the right spot.
Meh.
I
I'll make
put
sure
one
my hair
earring
covers
into my
it.
bag, and then I'll look for the part of my ear that I had pierced a long time ago and attempt to pierce in the same spot.
Okay. It takes a little bit of doing, but you do manage to force it through the scar tissue where it had grown over a little bit, but not a lot.
It's been a while since I've worn earrings.
It itches a little bit, but you'll get used to it. Halastair nods to you all and disappears.
Oh, well, farewell, lizard.
Halfway through the hour, Ice actually walks over to Cure. Can I have my child, please?
You don't want to wait until we leave the Black Spiral?
Well, we have another half hour here, and I don't know how close to hatching it is. I would just like a moment to hold it for a minute, since it's been quite the last few days.
I nod and retrieve the egg from my bag and pass it over to him and go back to contemplating what I have to deattune in order to get this earring working.
Okay.
I nod in thanks, and I just crouch near the altar and just hold on to the egg.
Okay. It's warm in your hands. As you kind of find a quiet moment and put your hands around it, you almost feel a little bit of a heartbeat coming from it.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
No, vestiges are not attuned.
Oh, cool. I guess I'm loaded up on attunements then.
Oh, okay. That fixes everything.
Yeah, no, they should be attuned, but I like giving you guys magic shit, so.
Certainly will not argue.
I figure they're more part of your character than they are part of your gear.
Yeah, I hear that.
Sure.
Yes? I look up and over at V.
When you go back, if you happen to run across my younger self, would you pass along one of those earrings?
Kind of cock my head to the side and look back at the box and look back at V. Well, he did give us 6. I suppose we can part with one if we find you.
How do we convince your younger self to follow us if we decide to bring you along?
$21 years.
Bah,
I'm gonna think about this for a minute.
it's not that long ago.
Well, it is, and it isn't.
Just tell us where the bodies are buried.
It's about 30 minutes from now, actually.
That was a bad joke, Cure, but I still got a chuckle.
I just grunt a little bit.
Bodies are buried in the crypts, of course, where they should be.
I wrinkle my nose.
Buried in a crypt. What?
Raises an eyebrow. No, really. Who would look for a missing body in a crypt?
Wait, you're not
Okay.
making a dry joke? You actually do have skeletons in your closet?
Why would I keep skeletons in my closet?
Oh,
That would be obvious.
Why would we
keep them
find
in
you
the
in a
crypt, I suppose,
crypt?
but
No, we're not gonna find him in a crypt. We're gonna find his bodies that he's put in the crypt. You know? I see what he's getting at. He's saying what we should do is tell him that we know where the bodies are and force him to come along with us. I
it
see
was
how you
more a
work
figure
here.
of speech, some secret that you have that only you would
Force
know.
would not be appreciated.
What other choice will you have, though? You'll grow to love us, and, become friends. It's what will happen.
Yes,
That's
yes, you'll love us, so
debatable.
die trying.
I would like to make it at least the age I am now, if you don't mind.
Well, we'll make sure of that. That's why your younger self should travel with us.
We will let that version of V decide. Where will we find you, and what are we to say to earn your trust?
1 minute, I'm reading backstory.
This is
V
why I
holds
keep
up a finger,
secret
looks up.
log.
1 minute, thinking of backstory.
Yep.
Um,
Just trying to think where I was 21 years ago. It's oddly specific.
you were in Whitestone, in the library, at the request of Ilya Taldore, archiving the books to make sure that if the city is overrun and lost, all the knowledge within it wouldn't also be lost.
See how convenient.
Most likely I'll be in the library at Whitestone. Or at least reporting back there, if I'm off on one of my acquisitions.
That's oddly coincidental.
I mean, not really. You
I
guys
mean,
requested. V came recommended by Omika. They had to meet somehow.
it's fate, Core. There's no coincidental thing at all. It is fate.
I think Deuteronomy? Deuteromancy. I think that's the metaphysical study of fate, actually. If I recall correctly.
Out of character, there should be a magic class called Bibliomancy. It would be hilarious.
Bibliomancer.
Yes.
The Artificer Archivist comes pretty close.
Wizards in general are that.
Either way, we greatly appreciate the assistance you provided us, and we hope your younger self decides to continue on in your shoes.
Well, you're welcome. It wasn't a terrible way to spend the last few days of my timeline.
See, helping. I got nothing, I'm sorry. Sharing is caring. Something like that.
We will ensure that the new timeline is better. I start heading over to the teleportation circle to wait.
Okay. We can speed up time here if you guys are ready to go.
I think we're ready.
I go.
You up?
I meet up with Kiora and offer the egg back so I can be in a safe space for the teleportation.
Quietly accept it and put it back into the bag.
Okay.
Thalion extends his hand for a shake to V, shakes his hand. Again, we appreciate everything you did for us, and it was kind of you.
Again. You're welcome.
Alright. I'll make my way past V.
Well, V, it's been swell. You're a gentleman and a scholar. It's quite interesting watching you work. I can't wait to see how you slip up when you're younger, however. I'll make sure you keep your nose clean.
I tap my nose a little bit before reaching out to extend a little fist bump.
Fist bump. You do realize that I'm in acquisitions, correct?
Do I know what acquisitions are?
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll find out.
You know what acquisitions are. You're a member of the clasp. Of course you know what acquisitions are.
Well, I didn't know if acquisitions was like a different group or
It's not a... It's,
is it just general
V is
thievery?
basically a rogue librarian thief.
Yeah, it walks the line of legitimacy. Acquisition agents for libraries are...
No, throw in the end of the world.
She's a drow Indiana Jones, dude.
Okay,
basically
okay,
Drow
cool.
Indiana Jones.
All right, so with one finger to the nose and a little bit of a wink.
Well, of course I know your apparitions. Everything above water.
All the T's crossed, I's dotted, everything legitimate. Correct? Right. Wink.
Legitimately forged.
I wave my hand dismissively and make my way to the teleportation circle.
Okay. As you all step onto the teleportation circle,
Oh god, something familiar.
Oh,
No, 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 no.
and you
can
appear
I
in
have
Whitestone.
sent my inventory back with them too?
Yeah, sure, why not? You hand him your bag. You're like, oh, wait, this timeline's disappearing, and you toss him your adventurer's kit.
I'm not going to need it. He will.
We'll extend this as a gift.
As you appear. Someone, decide amongst yourselves, roll me a d20.
Who's gonna be?
Who wants to roll a d20?
I can do it, but my rolls have been crazy tonight.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
know
say
if-
I've already burned my 2 nat 20s. You probably don't want me.
My cure dice is downstairs.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
No, I do not want you rolling a d20.
Okay, I would like to point out here that the number is just what hour you appear. It's not like it's... This is not...
Yeah, Rob, go ahead and roll a d20.
It's a 5.
Okay, so you appear in the library. It's very early hours. Outside, you can see knee-deep snow. As you look through the glass of the front of the library. The teleportation circle is at the front. As you look up, you can see the statues of Vox Machina behind you.
I immediately look over to Cure and gently hold out my arms. Now that we're back, can I please have the egg back? I'd like my child.
User in your channel timed out.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Who is that?
That was Joe.
Okay.
Farewell,
kinda-
acrobat.
I kind of sway a little bit, take stock of my surroundings, then glance over at Ice and quickly, carefully, return his egg to him and start
User
striding from
entered
the
your
room.
channel.
The
Welcome
second
back.
that the egg is in my hands, I immediately dimension door it out into my house since it's within 500 feet.
Oh,
It is.
Bye. See you later. Thanks for all the fish. Why the hell does he do that?
Where did we teleport to?
You appeared in Gilmore's Glorious Books.
That's what I thought.
Yep. V, so you are setting up, you're heading to the library for your, for one of your last shifts. Most of the library has been copied and moved. All of the special collections, the things that are irreplaceable, all taken care of. All that is left is like basic common reading, and is not slated to be archived. You're there working with Almika just to make, do your last run through checks. And you're
Make sure no one misshelved anything.
yeah, make sure, just run through the shelves and make sure that, like, I don't know, Cure for Diseases isn't, like, hiding in between 2 romance novels, things like that. And you see movement in the front lobby of the library. And it is not, at first glance, Almika. Almika is usually grumpier in the morning and does not generally light a light. Usually you beat her there by an hour or 2.
I strode from the room as soon as I handed off the egg as well.
Okay. So you're heading out onto the street?
Oh, yes.
Okay. You head out on the street. It is freezing cold. It is like your tears freeze the moment you go outside because where you were had been fairly temperate, and this is probably in the negatives. Probably in the negatives as far as the temperature goes.
Hike up my shoulders, draw my cloak about me, and keep going.
Okay.
All right, so who's still in the lobby area?
Me and Macklin.
A,
Who is currently kvetching about the two party members who just disappeared.
a human man and his human man, quiet, a distressed-looking gnome.
Well,
You,
generally
you know-
strangers don't appear in the lobby for 4 hours.
I
So
look at
gonna,
V and I
like, kind of
almost quip at
slink
him.
up out of from between the bookshelves.
You are aware there's a teleportation circle right here. Appearing out of nowhere is just what happens here.
Yes, but we do have operating hours.
Fair enough.
It's very early, and you're not leading.
They typically make an exception for folks like us.
Who's they?
Uh,
Counterpoint, who are you?
Well, I'm Felian Kareen, and this here is my fellow short man, Macklin.
I nod and touch one hand under my chest and bow a little bit.
Ah, Macklin O'Mara.
Yeah, well met.
And I look the drow over and consider. Knowing full well.
And your name is?
I'm V.
V. It's got a nice ring to it. We haven't been around here for a short while. I'm afraid I don't recognize you.
Felian chuckles a little bit when he says a short while.
I'm generally not the one near the front desk.
I nod a little bit and make my way to approach the younger V.
Interesting, interesting. Let's see. Who else is around at this hour?
Blinks for a moment. Around here in particular?
Oh, yes, work in the library.
Drugs. I'm sure some of the crazy scholars have taken the research rooms already, but so far as staffing goes, well, it's either too late or too early.
Right, I suppose that makes sense. Well, seeing as you are here and we are here, why don't we walk and talk for a moment? Get ourselves reacclimated with Whitestone.
Right?
I sort of like walk toward and then sort of that leading approach, hand wave kind of.
Valiant, do you still have that bag?
The Felian holds out the bag. Yep. Do I give it to him now?
Perhaps hold on after his mind is blown, he's recovered from it. V, are you familiar with a practice called Dutomancy?
I know I've seen references.
You're fairly familiar with it. Essek does practice it.
I have some passing familiarity.
Well, do I have a story for you? It involves Dutomancy.
And while walking and talking, I proceed to attempt to relay what has happened for the last couple days.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion, cool. See, this is why you give us a secret password for time travels. Always have, when you're like 12 or 13, you gotta come up with one of those.
That's a good
Persuasion.
point. I like that.
Well, that I was cartling into the hamper.
So while you figure that out, Cure, where are you heading?
I'm heading to the castle.
Okay. Ice, where you appeared. Okay. Ice, you appeared in your house. It is quiet.
Fire still going, or is it just about cold?
The fire is still going. It is mostly coals, but it is still warm enough that it's keeping the house warm.
I drop my pack next to the couch. Or actually, first I set the egg gingerly down on the comfortable chair that I normally sleep in. Set my bag next to that, and then I just grab some firewood and stoke the fire.
Roll me a
And
stealth check. How quiet are you being while you do all this?
Yeah, 20, not that.
20 not at? Okay. You're fairly quiet as you get the fire going again. Take off your gear.
I'm not particularly trying to be quiet, so after I've got the fire kicked up again, I prestidigitate myself because I don't have time to try and towel down or anything. And then I pick the egg up into my arms, I cradle it, and then I nestle into the chair and just sing a gentle lullaby to it while I'm just sitting there.
Okay. As you settle in, sing a lullaby to your egg. Kior, you're heading to the castle?
I am.
Okay.
With a quickness.
With a quickness, you head to the castle. You get to the front gates. You're waved in.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah, with your gear on, they don't seem to, you actually kind of spot a paladin or two walking the walls with the guards. So, they wave you in when you're in the castle. And it's Whitestone Castle.
I immediately go to Ilya's room.
Okay. So you head to Ilya's room. As you you have your hand on the door, door to knock. You hear voices coming from inside. 2 women's voices.
I pause, lean forward, and try to listen.
Okay. You lean forward and you hear Salda and Ilya having a conversation, and it does not sound pleasant. And you hear Salda say, Kjor war eine Taldore. Ihr seid selbstständig, ihr seid ihr. And it's just a string of what sounds like Zemnian.
The hell?
You hear Ilya respond. And sharper than you've ever heard her speak to her mother, go, Vag es nyacht. And they are actually arguing.
Oh, bloody course. Not a single moment. I start pounding on the door.
Okay.
I fully expect it to be locked, so just thump, thump, thump.
So the arguing had continued, and you do hear Ilya was say, Ich werde Kjord Frau sein oder numandas. And that's about as much as she gets out before you start pounding on the door. And the door whips open, and Ilya is standing there, red-faced, angry, and she just looks at you confused.
What year is it?
She reaches up and yanks the mask off your face.
I just let it happen. I'm just staring at her. Face is pale.
You see all the blood drain from her face, and she just like, sure. And she wraps her arms around you in a very tight hug.
That's all the invitation I need, and I just cling to her and hold her tighter than I have in a very, very long time.
Okay, roll a perception check. Okay, 20. You realize that when you kind of go to pick her up, because she's short, and you usually kind of give her a bit of a lift, you realize she's a lot lighter than she was last time you saw her. And as you look in and you see Salda, who looks genuinely shocked, and you don't think you've ever seen Salda shook before. You see kind of shadows under their eyes and their cheekbones. The sharpness in the Taldore face has gotten a little bit sharper.
Tears are already starting to come as I hold her, and after a moment of just kind of soaking in the embrace, I move my eyes to Salda to take in her appearance. And still clinging to Ilya, I ask again, what year is it?
You've been gone for 3 months, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, thank the matron. It worked. That bastard kept his end of the deal. Oh, matron, thank you.
And you see Salda kind of straighten up her back a little bit and look to Ilya. You two have much to discuss. I will leave you. And she bows her head sharply and exits the room, closing the door behind her.
I'll move inside and start quickly undoing my cloak and mantle and tossing it aside so they're not encumbering me.
Okay, you have help.
Quickly toss aside my gauntlets. And heck, if Ilya's helping me remove that stuff, I'm get rid of the chest plate as well, since it's cumbersome.
Yeah, and there's a shake to her hands as she does so too. She's obviously
She's not
still
the
a little
only
in
one
shock.
shaking.
You're here. And once she gets most, as much armor as you got, you kind of are shedding. And she kind of just rests her head on your chest.
I hold her close and lean my head against her for a second before gently pulling away so I could rest my hands on her shoulders and stare into her eyes.
Okay.
I did not mean to barge in.
Well, you solved the argument anyway, so. And she kind of gives you it's a smile, it fades very quickly.
Good. I would love to hear about it, but right now there's something more important to speak with you about.
Alright.
I've come to the conclusion that I am very unlucky, and life constantly throws things at me I would really rather deal with at a time when I don't have more pressing business to attend to. That is to say, there is never a good moment for anything. And I've come to realize that at any moment something terrible could befall me, or you, or anyone in general. And if I don't get this over with now, I don't know if I will ever get a chance to. I kind of paused since before that was about as far as I ever rehearsed it in my head.
Okay. She's looking at you. She looks a little confused. She's... You're used to Ilya being fairly quick. But she seems a bit disoriented at the moment.
I nod slightly as though expecting it, move my hands to her cheeks and kiss her.
Oh, she kisses you back. As the one thing she has no hesitations about.
Part slowly and catch her eyes again. Eyes are still watery, tears are still coming. These last several months, I have been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of evaluating about what's important to me. I have sworn my fealty to the Raven Queen, but that does not mean my heart belongs to her. And I've come to learn that she is perfectly fine with that. In truth, my heart has always ever been yours to claim. And it forever will be. And I don't want another moment to go by with that in question. I don't want another moment to go by wondering if I would ever see you again, if we would ever have time for ourselves, if when I think of my future, I see you. And as much as I wish there could have been a better moment to do this, I let go of her and reach into the bag of holding and withdraw a small box that I've been carrying around for a very long time at this point. And I settle down on one knee and raise it up and open it and reveal the ring that I had the blacksmith forged months ago.
She lets out a small noise that you don't think you've ever heard her make before. Mostly just shock. And it's happy. It's a happy noise, at least.
I really hope that's a happy noise because I feel very exposed here. Swallow hard. I believe this is the moment when I ask if you would do me the honor of being my wife.
And she drops to her knees and wraps her arms around you. Of course. Yes, I was just telling my mother that, to be honest.
Oh, well, I suppose I do have remarkably good timing then. Wait. Did your mother ever know about, you know, us?
The first time around.
Ah, well, that's good. That would have been an incredibly awkward conversation to have.
She didn't know that we had reunited at all, though, and arguments happened about that.
Well, surprises never speaking of surprises,
No, I know about that one.
Which one?
The egg you're about to pull out?
Ah! Well, that saves me a great deal of awkwardness then.
I just got back from Crowdhammer a week or two ago.
Oh, okay. I do recall that you did go there and followed our tracks. I quickly shake my head. Nope, ignore me. I'm muttering. It doesn't make sense. I'll explain later. And then I reach into the bag and pull out the egg.
And she looks to it and kind of gently runs her fingers across the shell.
This terrifies me.
Yeah, well. I don't know what you would like me to feel. I'm actually happy about it, so
Well, you haven't said yes yet.
I thought I did. Yes, definitely. Yes.
I just kind of laugh and grin and carefully set that egg aside so I can hug her again.
And she hugs you back.
You will not believe the experience I've gone through to get to this moment.
I'll believe it. It might be difficult, but honestly, at this point, I'm just waiting for someone to come wake me up and tell me I have a shift at the wall.
Oh, there's a great deal to discuss there as well. In time. For now, I'd like to make the most of this time with you. Before anyone comes to interrupt us.
Well, I do have some power over that at least. And she gives you a kiss on the cheek and stands begrudgingly, like reluctantly, and heads out the door for a moment before coming back in and locking it behind her. No promises that your brother won't break it down.
I put the egg back in the bag for now. He can certainly try.
Okay. So ice. The clock strikes 6. You hear the door open. And you hear the door close. You see a dark figure, mask, heavy armor, kind of come in, go to the couch, and just fall face forward into it.
Just sit there. Like, I stop seeing you for a minute and look over at the form. Long shift?
She shoots up and looks at you. And goes to reach for her sword, realizes she disarmed at the door. And just kind of looks at you with deer in the headlights looks. Like, unsure of what to do. And she casts Detect Good and Evil.
Please don't kill our child.
Well, you're not a succubus.
I shake my head. No. Fairly certain that, well, yes, no. I am most certainly not a succubus. I'm also not a doppelganger.
Alright.
You can also stop asking the Raven Queen if I'm alive or dead. You could always ask her right now, though. She'll probably tell you that I'm right in front of you.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh. Do you have to go to Paylor to ask that one then?
She just kind of face palms. I think that confirms your identity more than anything, honestly. And she gets up and she doesn't she like goes to move like she's sitting on your lap and then realizes she was probably a good 20 or 30 pounds heavier than you unarmored. And is currently wearing full plate. And instead she just kind of leans over you and wraps her arms around you. You're not transparent.
I lean back into the hug. So, how long has it been since you last had word from, I guess Ilya would have been your point of contact?
I spoke with Ilya before I went on my shift.
No, sorry. Wrong question.
Has she
I
been
don't know
hiding you
what-
all this time?
I don't know the date. When is the last time Ilya mentioned Cure writing anything to her? How long ago was that?
You've been missing for 3 months.
Oh, good. He didn't fuck us. And
didn't what?
yay.
Who didn't? Wait, did you want...
No, so let's break this into quick bullet points. I've had this conversation with you before. Once 21 years from now, once 6 years from now. It's messy. Long story short, our teleportation was messed with. Vecna caught us, put us in a bubble. We got out of the bubble, we got back. It was the future at that point because we'd been trapped for 21 years. That's the first bullet point right there. We found we found out that there's magic that could teleport us back in time, but we had to go to a mad mage named Halastair for it. And then we had to go through this huge, ridiculous puzzle and fight thing to earn transport back. He made good on transporting us back 21 years because we, completed 21 rooms. That was the deal. So, I mean, he could have not sent us back this far. He could have overshot, but 3 months after we were missing, it's not bad. We can still prevent some things.
She peels off her gauntlet and runs her fingers through your hair, and her hands are freezing cold.
I actually lean into the hands more because they're cold.
I have been out on that wall for 12 hours. I am exhausted, I am hungry, and I'm not sure I understand most of the words coming out of your mouth.
Okay. Armor off, sit in front of fire, and hold this. And I show her the egg. But first, armor off and sit in front of the fire, then you can hold the egg. Hold this.
Alright, help with the straps.
Once she moves out of the way, I turn, gently place the egg in the seat, and then quickly make do with unstrapping the half plate, the gauntlets, the greaves, everything that she needs removed.
Yeah.
So that it's a 2-minute job and not a 10-minute job.
It's probably still like a 5-minute job because you're doing a lot more work than she is because her fingers are frozen.
Okay. Understandable. And actually, before I start doing that, I cast Prestidigitation on her hands to warm up her hands a little ahead of time before she sits in front of the fire.
Okay. She definitely winces as the heat kind of enters her fingers, but appreciates it. As between the two of you, manage to get her out of her armor and down to her, tunic, pants, boots. And she sits in front of the fire.
And then I pick up the egg and I set it down in her arms. So I'm gonna make you some food. I'm gonna have to talk to Odrin about handling this. I don't know if you got word, but we
Why don't
fig.
I tell you what I know?
Okay. I'll start cooking. You start telling me what you know, and then I move around to find a few things to make. To start off by just making her a warm porridge, because
Okay.
that's gonna be one of the fastest things I can make for her.
Yep. So she heads to the kitchen to follow you, and still holding the egg. So I know you were in Craghammer 3 months ago. You came across a creature that created clones of you, infants, eggs. And I know after that, you either went into hiding or disappeared off the face of you either way disappeared off the face of the earth.
So yeah, um, the egg is me, but it probably, uh, being a changeling, it could actually turn out female, male, whatever, however it's raised. It could turn out anything. Um, Nika is the same for you, obviously, if you hadn't figured that out already.
No, I know.
And I started cooking porridge. We're gonna need. This is messy. Um, Everyone's gonna need to pretend like we don't exist. At least out in public.
I'm sorry, what?
I point to my ear to show the earring. Before we returned, we were given things that could hide us from scrying. So, as far as Vecna's concerned, he did his job and we don't exist.
Roll a persuasion check.
That's a 15.
Okay. She looks suspicious. So let me get this straight. You have a child. You disappear for 3 months. And then you return with said child saying, "We are not allowed to tell anyone that you're back."
Not that you're not allowed to tell anyone. It's
Or that I'm not supposed to acknowledge the fact that you have returned back from the dead / your other family / wherever the hell you've been for the last 3 months.
for you. It's been 3 months. For me, it's been less than a week.
Roll another persuasion check.
27.
She nods after a moment.
This is all messy. It makes no sense, but right now we have the upper hand. We know what's supposed to happen in the next 9 months, and we can stop it. We might actually have the chance to keep Whitestone from falling. But
I'd like to see you try. Whitestone's already half fallen as it is.
yeah, well, we know some things, and I don't think I'm going to have to do anything. At least, let's just say we know one point of treachery, And I doubt that that's going to last very long.
Alright. And, oh, fine. So you're coming back, giving me your egg, and disappearing again. And leaving me to raise a child on my own. Another one.
No, I'm staying.
She looks genuinely shocked at that.
Over the last week, I've watched myself become more and more like Darius. And it's not something I ever wanted to be. I wanted to be the hero. So, I need to step away from the group. Or else I will turn into exactly what Darius was. Just unapologetic, judging before taking a time to think, always using max force. It's not something that I want to be. And with this earring, it doesn't matter where I am. Vecna doesn't know where I am. And if there's a figurehead for something, I can still help. I can protect. I can do things. I'm not going back out there. Not until I can get things straight.
She nods, slowly. Alright, well, that's a horse of a different color. Well, I can't imagine Ilya would say no to the help. She's currently doing the jobs of Jazin, Cassandra, and Kynan.
Why is she so over... Why are the other ones not doing... What's going on?
Cassandra's health wasn't right with the pregnancy. She was failing. And no matter how much we tried to, or how much Ilya tried to limit her and tried to shield her from the troubles of the city, it was difficult. And ultimately, everyone decided it was best if Cassandra retire to Kymel, at least for the duration of the pregnancy until her child was born. Kynan went with her, of course, and Jazin went as well to see after her. Her health was not good.
Okay. Well then... I don't know. I guess I'd be the best suited to take Kynan or Jazin's spot, I guess? I'm not quite sure, but...
I think you'll take the Grey Hunt from Ilya I don't think it'll happen. I think that's the one responsibility she actually enjoys, so perhaps within the city walls we could use a guard. A head of the guards.
Yeah, pretty much Jazin. I'm fairly certain I can do that.
Alright, well. I imagine if you've returned, Cure has as well?
We all have. I unceremoniously left them, and it's just I wanted to be home. I wanted to see you, but it was also so early in the morning, so I just got it warmed up in here. It's... As much as I've seen this place over the last week or so, it's nice to be in the real house.
Well, your mother will be awake in a minute, and if she catches you, then honestly, you will not get any rest, and it will, in fact, just get more hectic, and everyone within a 5-mile radius will know. So it might be best if we perhaps hide out in my room.
Well, hold on. I crack my neck, I shrug. I don't wanna... And then I force myself to shift into the form of Nika. And I stretch a bit. Well,
That's terrifying.
you have no idea. Oh, did she tell you what she did? How sick was she? 4 months ago.
She had the flu for like a week.
Did she tell you how she got it?
Gilmore filled me in, yes.
Fucking astonishing. And frightening as hell.
Speaking of frightening, what are you doing?
To get to your room, we have to walk past in multiple ways the master bedroom where my mother stays. So if I look like Nika, at least up to that point, it just looks like I woke up early and helped you, I guess. I don't know. It's been a long everything.
Alright, just go and don't look like my daughter when I come back up in 10 minutes.
That I can do. And I grab the stuff and head upstairs as quietly as I can. And then once I'm in Seraphine's room, I just drop form back to plain changeling and I lay on the bed.
Okay. And about 10 minutes later, Seraphine joins you. Okay. So, our bachelors. Macklin and Felion, as you fill in V.
So then, that's what happened. It was a journey. And he hands V his bag.
So,
But yeah, that's yours.
So V, a couple of things about this are just really weird. Like the idea that you're married to Almika.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like staring.
We laughed, we cried, we solved the puzzles. You did some pretty neat magical things, too. You're a crack shot with a firebolt.
And those force missiles? Oh, Lord, those force missiles. They hit every time.
Every time! I don't know how you did it! Perhaps we're saying too much.
Yeah, we don't mean to overload you with information, but...
Well, the tower I can sort of believe, at least once I was inside it. I was married to Almika?
Well, I mean... We don't judge you for it, but it's kind of a strange match.
In 20 years?
At 21. Well, I don't know when you got married, but you were married at the time. Yeah, perhaps you saw something in her.
Her sense of humor was kind of dry to me, but it is what it is.
Well, then. That is a very interesting future you've come from.
Interesting is a word for it, yes.
It's a bit too bizarre to make up.
That is the only reason that I'm even considering believing any of this.
Well, I'm glad you do consider it, because, frankly...
Either you're the mad mage in disguise.
Honestly, if I were the mad mage, would I choose to be this short?
And would he choose to be with a man like myself?
Might want to reconsider the way you phrased that.
Tight-lipped, I nodded very briskly at Felion. As
What?
traveling companions.
Oh, Macklin, I thought we were more than that.
The tight lip turns into a steady and chronic frown.
Why are you telling me all this?
Well, your future self told you to, well, told us to fill you in and, oh, and to give you one of, oh no, I think you're Hazard. Balls.
Whom? The scary paladin person?
Yes, the scary paladin person.
Cure took an extra one, but there were 6
Yeah.
in the box, so
Yeah, I
Felian
was
should
just
still
gonna
have
say.
an extra.
Alien's like, you mean this?
Yes, one of those. It was gifted to us by the Mad Mage himself. It's a trinket, which would disallow the ability for any wizard to scry upon the wearer. You seemed very interested in having it.
Well,
Judging
you're
by your
not
line of work, I
wrong.
can understand why. Acquisitions, was it?
Yes.
I touch my nose and wink.
V smirks back at you.
Everything above the water, cross the T's, dot the I's, all that. What?
But of course. Don't leave a job unfinished.
And important work it is.
So V accepts the earring.
Did he accept his gear too?
And also the yes bag of gear.
Righto, well, I'm not sure how you are as far as adventure goes, but back, well, not back, but ahead of now, where we were not too long ago, future you was a rather strapping and adventurous chap to work with. If you decide that you have that zest for adventure now, you're welcome to travel with us, once we decide what we're going to do next. That said, there are several men to see about several horses in the near future.
Interesting. So that was your recruitment speech.
Well, I'm still working on it. I thought maybe I could spitball by you and then... Listen, it's pure insanity. I don't think I could spell it any which way, or roll it, or suggest it in any other manner that isn't completely insane sounding.
No, just making sure that was your end goal.
Oh yes, of course, absolutely. I've seen what you can do with a firebolt and a dagger. I'd rather you be on our side than, well, his. I look up, and to the left, and to the right, and around. You know who.
Most likely. Well then.
Right.
Let me know when your plans are a little more together.
I go to stand and I nod toward V.
I will need at least a little warning to let my employers know I'll be unavailable.
Of course. You think on about it, and we'll be around. We'll be in touch.
Felian extends his hand for a handshake.
He looks at him somewhat oddly but shakes his hand.
I reach out for a little fist bump.
He also fist bumps.
Alright, I do the little jellyfish thing after. Rightio. Well, Felian, I don't know if you have any other business to attend to, but there's a city to save.
He smiles. I think a drink is entailed first.
The Bear's Pub?
You read my mind.
Serendipitous. I have to go see a woman about a horse over there. Well, V, it's been swell and it's been fun. Hasn't been swan because that's not a word.
Really, Mac?
I incline my head and politely make my exit.
Felian gives a polite wave and walks out.
just kind of like watches them go and then turns around to go back inside. Going, I'm not quite sure what just happened there. I have books to shelve.
As we make our way out and we're out of earshot, I remark to Felian, "What an awkward young man he used to be." That exchange was agonizing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Macklin, when you share a future that may or may not exist, and when it comes from two complete strangers that you've never met before who just bombard you with words, you may be a little awkward too.
I know, but it's just so jarring to think of him as a different person. He looks exactly the same. Drow! It's incredible. They just don't age.
Macklin, are you a gnome?
Yes?
How old are you, do you suppose?
Well, about 175, 176.
Do you think that a person that met you when you were, let's say, 75 and saw you when you're 175, do you think they saw a difference in you either?
Well, I suppose if they lived that long, they'd... Oh, I get it now.
And as Macklin and Felian ponder the nature of growing up, we're gonna end it for tonight.
All right.
That is one way to end the game.
I'm enjoying these send-offs.
Me too.
On a surprisingly hopeful note,
Yeah, we're gonna talk about horses next game.
We're gonna lose a party member next game.
Gonna lose a party. We might gain a party member next game.
Well, you lose one, you gain one. That's always good, right?
Yeah, it's
you
like
might
a
lose
JRPG.
2 party members next game.
Oh, right.
jeez.
Seamus said he's gonna step off.
Yeah.
There might not be a party next game.
You don't know. Oh no.
Man.
Pure might retire and get married.